Good spotting. Eagle-eyed Gulshan. Good, 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 good. Otherwise, Narendra will be upset. And good spotting.
Can I just ask something a bit political? The other day I found a book that I was reading, and it was about women's role in ISKCON and all this sort of thing. And I read that, and I hadn't read it before, but that Prabhupada had wanted Yamuna to be in the GBC before he left, and she got sort of outs by all the men. The men didn't want her in the GBC. Is that true?
I haven't heard that, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was a fact. Yeah.
Is there any woman in GBC or no?
Yeah.
Now there is, I think. What's the Shama Sundar's?
Yeah, Malati.
Malati. Yeah, Shama Sundar's wife, ex-wife Malati. Yeah, I think she is. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I hadn't heard that, but yeah, Prabhupada really loved Yamuna and appreciated her service, and she did such great service. Even we hear her voice every day in the temple. When we hear the Govinda prayers, that's Yamuna's voice, like that. My cooking Bible is the Yamuna's cookbook. That's my Bible for cooking.
But she herself in her book had mentioned also a number of instances where the men would always sideline.
Oh yeah, so my wife's mentioning how in her book that she's written before she left, then
no, it was not she wrote.
Oh, okay, one of her friends wrote it about her. Yeah, wrote it about her memoirs, like that. Mentioned that often the woman got sidelined by the men. So yeah, that's unfortunate. Typical Kali Yuga false ego that we have, and we have to suffer for that, unfortunately. That's so important. You know, we have to, as disciples, follow the instructions of our spiritual master. If we think we know better than our spiritual master and do things another way, that's the beginning of our downfall, when we think we know better than our spiritual master. And so that's.
But the spiritual master always have a hope, my disciple will do better than me.
Correct.
Yes.
But the disciple should never think that I'm better than my spiritual master.
No, he doesn't. Like, if Arjuna's Guru Maharaj, Dronacharya, he really wants them to be, he will defeat me, and then he'll be so happy to be that my disciple will defeat me, like he'll be going more further than where I've been. That's the Guru's. Yeah.
No, that's there. The disciple wants, the Guru wants the disciple to do great things, greater than himself. But the disciple should never think he's better than his Guru. Otherwise, he's not a disciple. He's fallen down like that. So, yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of times that the disciples disobeyed Prabhupada's instructions, which is very unfortunate for them and unfortunate for the movement. Because the movement would probably grown a lot more if we'd sincerely followed all of his instructions. And now, we're just struggling along like that. So, but yeah, so I hadn't heard about that Bhakti Mala, but I wouldn't be surprised like that. Yeah. I know a few things. But she was great. So I had the good fortune to meet her shortly before she passed away. She was in a hospital in Mumbai, a devotee hospital, Bhaktivedanta hospital, and her body had bloated up. I don't know what diseases she had, but it really bloated up, and she was in a wheelchair. And I was there to give some chanting beads to another guru who was in there, Giridhari Swami, for some sickness. And then his disciple in Auckland lost her beads or broken her beads or whatever, so she got some new beads for a guru to chant on, so she wanted him to chant on them. So I took the beads to Guru and we were there with him, and that was nice. And then I came out and I was in the elevator with the great, Yamuna Devidasi. So just for a few minutes we were in the elevator together, and then in the foyer, and then she was so ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. And even though her body's so bloated and sick and everything, but you could tell she was completely transcendental to her material body. You know, she wasn't like, you wouldn't feel that she's suffering in any way. She was just so ecstatic. I felt purified just by being in the elevator with her for a couple of minutes. It like uplifted me, you know, just being next to this devotee in a wheelchair. You know, she was such an ecstatic personality. And so, yeah, feel very fortunate to have that little bit of association with her vapu, her physical body, like that. But yeah, great personality. Yeah. Okay, let's get to our Bhagavad Gita. So, reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, 9th chapter entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge. Text number 15. So last week we discussed the translation, but we didn't read the purport. So we'll read the Sanskrit again, the translation, and then get into the purport for text 15. Jnana yagnena chapyene.
Jnana yagyena chapyante.
Yajanto mamupasate.
Yajnanto mamupasate.
Ekatvena pratatvena.
Ekatvena pritatvena.
Bahudha vishvato mukham.
Bahuda vishvato mukham. Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as one without a second, as diverse in many, and in the universal form.
So, like we said last week, everyone has free choice. So we take different paths in our life as human, in our human bodies. So some go down the path of like atheism. So we talked about that in text 12, 11 and 12. The demons and atheists in 12, they're called rakshasas and asuras. So just meat-eating demons. So bewildered by the material energy. And others take the path of devotees, Krishna conscious. So that's in 13 and 14, Mahatmas, like that. And 15 here talking about jnana yogis. So these people like to work with their teeny brains through mental speculation. So we talked about that last week, about how, you know, Prabhupada often mentions about we have to give up mental speculation. But some people love to speculate. And sometimes Prabhupada used the word fertile brain. We have a fertile brain. Or he had different terms for that. But these are the jnanis. They like to cultivate knowledge. See, some people like to work with their physical senses, their tongue and their genitals and their eyes and hands and legs and so forth, the karamis. And others are jnanis. They like to work more with their mind, So some more physically attracted to the physical, and some people are a bit detached from the physical. Like jnanis, they'll detach from these things. They might be able to detach from sex and a lot of eating and money making and profit and all these kind of things, but they're working more on the subtle platform, the mental platform. And they're thinking about these things, that there's this one all-pervading energy, this universal form, which takes the form of the universe. This is the universe is made up of this all-pervading energy, and they see that God is just energy. So from their mental speculation, that's as far as you can reach through your mind to that understanding that there's this all-pervading energy. It's impossible to figure out with your mind that God is a blue boy with a peacock feather in his turban, playing a flute and dancing with the gopis. You know, you're not going to figure that out with your brain, with your mind. But what you might comprehend with your mind is that God is just this all-pervading energy. And normally where they go from there is thinking that So everything is God, and I am also God, right? So you are God, I'm God, everyone's God. This is all God. Everything is just God. And the reality is this all-pervading energy, which is God, Brahman, and all these forms, material forms, they're all false. They're just Maya. So that's their philosophy through mental speculation they got to. They call this in Sanskrit Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So that's the ultimate reach of their mental speculation, is that they say that Brahman, so the spiritual energy, that is Satya, means truth, that's true. And Jagan Mithya, so Jagat is the universe, so everything. Your body, my body, the house, the car, the dog, you know, everything, money, and everything is Mithya, means false, so it's all an illusion. So that's through their mental speculation as far as you can get, that there's this all-pervading energy, and everything that's temporary, made of material things in the material, that's all illusion, that's all false. And the reality is the spiritual energy, and their goal is to merge with that. So they want to at the time of death merge into that spiritual energy and become one with that spiritual energy, and at that point they think that they become God. But actually that's not correct, that we can become God like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And although when we wouldn't put ourselves in that category of being jnana yogis, like mental speculation, but jnana is there in bhakti. See, bhakti automatically includes jnana, which means knowledge. But our knowledge is not through our speculation. Our knowledge, how do we get our knowledge?
Hearing.
Yeah, hearing from?
Authority.
Yeah, hearing from the parampara, from a spiritual authority, someone that's connected with Krishna. Either you're hearing it from Krishna, like Bhagavad Gita, right? Bhagavad Gita, we're hearing directly from God himself. We're hearing from Krishna. And if you read the purport, you're hearing from Prabhupada. And Prabhupada is in the parampara. He's connected with Krishna through the parampara, like that. So we're also getting knowledge, but it's coming down through the parampara. So last week I mentioned there's two paths of getting knowledge. One is the ascending path called, does anyone remember what it's called? I said ascending and descending. Does anyone remember what the ascending is? Jayanti said aroha, yeah. So aroha means upward. That means from my mind, I'm trying to figure everything upwards. I'm trying to figure it out. So it's starting from down, right where I am, down below, and I'm trying to figure everything else from my mind going upwards. So that's an upwards knowledge from me going up. And then there's the avaroha panta, that's our path. That means descending knowledge. So the knowledge is coming from top, means from God. So the knowledge is coming from God, from top, coming down to us through the parampara. So that's descending knowledge. So there's two choices. You either get your knowledge coming down from God, perfect knowledge, or you've got your imperfect knowledge trying to go up. I think it's like this. Maybe it's like this. Could be like this. Like that. So much speculation like that. Prabhupada said anyone that starts a sentence, I think, could be, maybe, in my opinion, I believe, all that's just speculation. You immediately know it's all speculation. It's coming from our mind. Does that make sense? Anyone want to say anything about that? Good.
What'd she say?
She said, I think, and then a giggle. See, she's a speculator. She said, I think. It's better to say, Krishna said this, my guru said this, the Bhagavad Gita said this, the scriptures say that. It's better like that. You're speaking from an authority, not I think this, maybe this, I believe this. It doesn't have any meaning. If you have 100 people in a room and they're all going to have 100 different opinions. Where's the truth?
But like we have to only follow those who come from parampara. Those who not come from parampara, we shouldn't follow.
It depends. I mean, if what they say matches up with the parampara, we may accept that. But if it doesn't match up, no, we don't. So whatever someone says, if it doesn't match up with the Vedic authority, then yeah, we don't accept that. If it's opposed to what the Vedic authority has said, then we don't accept that. But sometimes, you know, people may be saying something that's in line with the truth, and then those things we can accept. And it doesn't mean we hate those people that say, that speculate or whatever, but we don't have to follow them. You know what I'm saying?
But does he?
So we don't, okay, oh, you demon, you know, you said something opposite to what Krishna says, you know, but it doesn't mean we hate them. And, but we wouldn't follow them. We wouldn't follow them like that. And it's important. It's important. We have even persons in a big position in modern day society, like politicians, right? But usually what they say is complete nonsense. You know, and we should have some discrimination to know that it's not true, and we shouldn't follow them. You know, they say, you know, inject yourself with this, it's all safe and effective and everything like that. But it's a load of rubbish. You know, it's completely a load of rubbish. Prabhupada said, whatever a demon says, if you want to know what the truth is, it's the opposite to what they say. Does that make sense?
Again,
if you want to find out what the truth is, it's the opposite to what a demon says. Because the demon's got everything back to front. So if you want to know what the truth is, take it the backwards of, you know, what the demon has said, then that's probably what the truth is. Because they're just complete in ignorance, and they're just cheaters. You know, one of the 4 defects of a conditioned soul has a cheating propensity. So we should know that if you're acting in that capacity as a conditioned soul, then definitely you've got a cheating propensity. And also, if you're not connected with Krishna, that means you must be in Maya. And if you're in Maya, that means you're covered by ignorance and passion and anger and so forth. And then if you're in ignorance, then what you're saying is false. So should I take you as an authority? No. It doesn't mean I hate you, because I mean you're a part and parcel of Krishna too. Even the demons are part and parcel of Krishna. But yeah, I should just keep my distance and try not to put myself where I have to follow, you know, all your instructions, because it's just going to lead into a ditch.
Maybe
and the
you
Bhagavad,
can help the demons to become a devotee.
What's that?
Maybe you can help him to become a devotee, the demon.
Sure.
Because you are a devotee,
Or,
he comes
yeah,
in
that's
your
one
association.
option. Yep. That's one option. You turn the demon into a devotee. The other option is the demon turns the devotee into a demon.
Well, whoever's stronger, you know, if you believe you're strong enough, he will change.
Yeah.
Doesn't it say in the Bhagavad Gita somewhere that like Gyanis eventually, like after they've got Brahman realization, but eventually they will come to bhakti, like in maybe, you know, some lifetimes. So.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. I mean, nearly everyone eventually will go back to Godhead. We don't have the idea that Christians have that there's eternal damnation. It's not like that. We're all temporarily in the material. Every soul is temporarily in the material world. But it's just a matter of whether it's, you know, more births or less births. But yeah, if we act in a demoniac way, it's going to be more births. Yeah. And if you act in the way of the divine and the divine path of bhakti, then it's going to be less births. But yeah, everyone will get out of here eventually. And although Krishna himself sometimes gets pretty peeved off with the demons that are so harmful to others, and he pretty much says, I condemn them. But even though Krishna himself might condemn some souls, but the devotees are said to be more kind even than the Lord, and they try to rescue even those souls that even Krishna has given up on. Let's look at that 16th chapter. Sixteenth chapter. It's towards the end of it. Yeah. Text 19 and 20.
Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are perpetually cast into ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life, attaining repeated birth among the species of demoniac life. O son of Kunti, such person can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. Abominable.
Abominable. Abominable.
Well, what's the meaning of abominable?
Abominable means really horrible, disgusting existence. Means like take birth as a worm in stool or a cockroach.
Like a dung beetle.
Yeah, dung beetle or something. Really in the shit, as they say. And so this is it, and it's not that Krishna hates them, that's why he's doing this to them, but he's doing this to them because they're creating so much harm to themselves and others by acting in an envious way, as demons do, that to take them out of harm's way, we'll just put them in the body of a worm or a cockroach. Obviously, you can't hurt anyone in that form. In a human form, I mean, you can do a lot of harm. You know, like you could kill millions of people in different ways by using your human brain if you misuse it in an envious way. Because I want to be powerful and rich and famous, everything. I'm going to, you know, push everyone down, you know. So, but, you know, take out that person so they can't create any further harm, or he'll put them in the body of a tree or something. You can't hurt nobody if you're in the body of a tree, you know, or in the body of a cockroach or a worm or something like that. So he's doing it for their own benefit too, so they don't commit any further sinful activities. Because a demoniac in a human body can do a lot of sinful activities that can be, you know, create a lot of pain and suffering for others. And we see a lot of human beings really exploiting Mother Earth and destroying all the forests and polluting the oceans and the air and everything like that, and poisoning everything.
You know, Japanese, they're using the firewood without cutting the trees.
Okay. Just fallen branches.
No. They're growing the fully tree out of that another tree on the fully grown tree 300 years, and they're growing on top of the another one, and that's what they cut. They do not touch the 300-year-old tree, become 400 years, become 500 years. So they're using the firewood without even cutting actual tree. So it's really, it's seen on the Facebook, and I said, wow, that is very smart. Without any damaging for 300-400-year-old tree. Just growing out of that, and then they cut, and then it'll grow again, and then actual tree they don't touch it anyway. So
that's good. That's a good way of doing it. But it's mentioned in the Bhagavad, it mentions more about it that the devotee will try to rescue these demons, that either the Lord has condemned them, but the devotee tries to help them, you know, by giving them Krishna consciousness, tries to deliver them. And a good example, right, in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes is that Lord Chaitanya wanted to kill Jagai and Madai for their horrible activities, abominable activities, once again. And but Lord Nityananda, in the form of a devotee, he was begging the Lord to please deliver them, please save them, don't kill them.
But if he killed by Mahaprabhu, he'll go to Krishna Loka. He will go to, you know, Goloka Vrindavan. If he killed by Mahaprabhu, in Jagai Madai. It's, in other words, you know, it is wrong for the Jagai Madai. Let them kill it, because if the Mahaprabhu kill him, he will go straight to the Krishna Loka. Anyway.
Yeah, well, actually, they don't go to Krishna Loka.
If Mahaprabhu kills him?
No.
If the Krishna kills him,
even demons, not even Krishna kills him. No, the
liberated.
the liberation of the demons get if they're killed by God, killed by Krishna in any form, is they get they merge into the Brahman. That's the liberation. They wouldn't become, you know, a coward boy or a coward girl, you know, if they were killed by the Lord in a battle or something in the material world. The liberation they get is merging into the effulgence of the Lord in the Brahmajyoti. Okay. So devotee's position is always better, you know, because merging in the Brahmajyoti is hellish. It's hellish. So because there's no relationships, there's no rasa there. It's so boring. And eventually one falls down from the Brahmajyoti anyway, comes back to the material world because it's so boring there. And so it's not such a good thing just to even get killed by the Lord. There was a rare case where a demon got to Goloka Vrindavan. Can anyone think of a rare case? And you heard about in Krishna's pastimes where a demon got killed by Krishna, and we know for a fact that went to Goloka Vrindavan.
Oh, a lot of demons killed by Krishna, that Kamsa and all that. But, I don't know who went to.
What about Putana? Didn't.
Very good, very good. Jayanti just said that too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the very first demon that Krishna killed went to Goloka Vrindavan. That was a special case because although she was very evil and her plan was to kill all the babies by giving them poison, which is pretty evil. Imagine killing a baby. I mean, you have to be pretty demoniac.
How come she go to Goloka Vrindavan then?
Yeah, how do you get to Goloka Vrindavan by killing babies? Yeah. You know, but the difference was that, so she tried the same process with Krishna. So Krishna took the good side out of what she was doing. What was the good side? That she offered her breast milk. She was acting like a mother. So she was acting like a mother, and Krishna ignored the bad side. What was the bad side? That put poison on the nipple to try to kill Krishna.
Her intention was wrong. Intentions matter.
No, but her action was acting like a mother. So Krishna took that good side, that she's acting like my mother by giving me breast milk. So I'll make her one of my mothers in Goloka Vrindavan. So she became a nurse in Goloka Vrindavan, assistant nurse mother to Mother Yashoda in the spiritual world. So that's a rare case where a demon being killed by the Lord goes to Goloka Vrindavan. Normally what happens is they just get out of the material world, but only merging in the Brahman. So it's not a very good kind of liberation like that. So it's still better to be a devotee than a demon. Otherwise we should just become demons if we're going to go to Goloka Vrindavan. But it's not so. You have to be a pretty bad demon to get Krishna to come to the material world to kill you. You have to be pretty heavy duty like that. So, yeah, it's still recommended to be a devotee.
Yeah, these days demons, like, you know, there was in the Australian prison, there was a name as Ivan Malat. And Krishna didn't come to kill him. He was a horrible demon. How many backpackers he killed him? And eventually died with the sickness. So there's a lot of demons here. Krishna doesn't come to kill the individual.
Yeah, it's not really necessary that he comes to kill the demons because just Krishna can organize his material energy to kill them very easily. Like, you know, just get some little bug. You get some little bug and you're dead. Or have a heart attack. You know, Krishna can just stop your heart beating and you just fall down
while
dead.
Sleeping even.
Yeah, while sleeping or anything. You know, there's 100 million ways how he can kill someone.
There is
just
one real story there. One guy in Mumbai, he was going on his scooter, and then had a helmet on, and then while driving, he feel like he's yawning, but he didn't put the hand in the mouth. Both hands on the scooter. A honeybee, when they're stuck straight in the mouth, and then where the breathing tube, and she bit on that, and breathe into is getting swollen and swollen and swollen. And he stopped having the breath. And he's telling people, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't. And then eventually 2, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, he passed away. So, and then when the postmortem done, and then when he opened the mouth, that honeybee just flying away, gone. He just stuck right under the tube.
Yeah, what's the
where,
chance of that? Yeah, so it's some
That's
arrangement.
right.
Yeah.
There was arrangement, Krishna's arrangement, and then it was all done.
There's that saying, right? Rake Krishna Mare K, Mare Krishna
Yeah.
Rake K. If
The
Krishna
person
wants
who
to
will
kill you,
protect
no one
Krishna,
can
no one
protect you. If Krishna wants to protect you, no one can kill you.
That's right.
So yeah, that's understanding. So it's explained that Krishna doesn't really come just to kill demons. He comes to enjoy a loving relationship with the devotees, you know, come to rescue them, and they feel so happy. So the devotees feel so happy when Krishna comes to save them from whatever
he doesn't come all the time as a blue boy. He may come in the different form, not with the,
Sure. Yeah.
flute in the hand and just
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
to protect you.
Yeah, sure.
No, could be any
Yeah.
other form.
Any form, yeah.
It could become in the doctor form to protect me, like to operation of my cancer.
Sure.
You don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Any form.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's read the purport. Bhakti Mala, do you want to start reading that? Text 15, 9th chapter, text 15, this verse.
This verse is a summary of the previous verses. The Lord tells Arjuna that those who are purely in Krishna consciousness and do not know anything other than Krishna are called Mahatma. Yet there are other persons who are not exactly in the position of Mahatma, but who worship Krishna also in different ways. Some of them have already been described as the distressed, the financially destitute, the inquisitive, and those who are engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. But there are others who are still lower, and these are divided into three. 1. He who worships himself as one with the Supreme Lord. 2. He who concocts some form of the Supreme Lord and worships that. And 3. He who accepts the universal form, the Vishvarupa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and worships that. Out of the above three, the lowest, those who worship themselves as the Supreme Lord, thinking themselves to be monists, are most predominant. Such people think themselves to be the Supreme Lord, and in this mentality they worship themselves. This is also a type of God worship, for they can understand that they are not the material body, but are actually spirit soul. At least such a sense is predominant. Generally, the impersonalists worship the Supreme Lord in this way. The second class includes the worshippers of demigods, those who by imagination consider any form to be the form of the Supreme Lord, and the third class includes those who cannot conceive of anything beyond the manifestation of this material universe. They consider the universe to be the supreme organism of or entity and worship that. The universe is also a form of the Lord.
So Prabhupada mentions, so he said, there's different kinds of persons and they worship differently. So he mentions the Mahatma, which we read in 13 and 14. And then he said, there are other persons who are not exactly in the position of a Mahatma. So Mahatmas means like a pure devotee. They're always worshipping Krishna, and they never deviate from their worshipping Krishna, and they're always chanting his names. It's mentioned Sadatam Kirti Yantamam, Yatantas Chadratavata. They're always working hard for Krishna's pleasure with great determination. Namastyantas Chamam Bhaktya. So then they're always bowing down, you know, they're completely surrendered to following.
We can call you Mahatma?
Well, you have to determine that whether I follow those,
Yeah, of course,
whether I'm
you
following
do.
those characteristics or not. Am I always chanting? Am I always determined in serving Krishna and bowing down and following his instructions and everything? So you have to determine
Jayanti will find out, because we're living away from you. Jayanti will tell. If
She's going to
says
say
yes,
I'm a rascal. I never do. I never do good enough.
well, at least she's honest. At least she's honest. Nah, just kidding.
Prabhupada tells how when the husband grows very old and says, "My dear beloved, I've served you so nicely my whole life. Now can I go and take sannyas?" What will the wife say? So Prabhupada said the wife will say, "No, you haven't done anything. What do you mean? You can't take sannyas."
But I tell you, take every day.
But the Shastra says, if the wife will serve the husband very correctly, it's like done deal. That is, she can see in the husband everything in there. If she do like sati, the way that Savitri was serving the husband, that was a done deal. There is nothing more.
That was a previous age, yeah.
That's right. So she's the one. Jayanti is Savitri, and then that's it. Done deal.
No, I tell Abhay Prabhu, please take sannyas.
Yeah, in Kali Yuga, because the husband and wife not following their duties so strictly, generally not so attached. Yeah, previous ages they were so attached because very carefully following all their prescribed duties, like that. So Prabhupada's saying here that there's persons that are not exactly on the position of a Mahatma, so they're not always chanting and they're not always acting, with great determination to serve Krishna, and they're not always, bowing down to Krishna and following his instructions. And then he mentions them four categories. He says, and he said they've already been described. And what are those four categories? So the distressed person, financially destitute, inquisitive, and engaged in the cultivation of knowledge. So that's actually referring to 7th chapter, text 16.
Yeah.
So you can look at it there.
What
so they're not 7th chapter, text 16. So yeah, these people, not exactly a Mahatma, a great soul, but still some kind of devotee, some kind, not a pure devotee, but some kind of devotee, because these are pious people and they've approached God. They've approached God, but they've approached God with some motivation. But a Mahatma doesn't have any personal motivation. He's just serving God for God's pleasure. He doesn't want to get anything out of it. But these people, they want to get something out of it. What do they want? So they're in distress. They're suffering. So they want to get out of their suffering. Or they don't have money. They're broke. So they want to get money. So they're approaching God for some material motivation. But the Mahatma doesn't have any material motive. They're just fully in love, with the Lord.
What about the fourth one? Fourth one is who is searching for knowledge and absolute, which is...
Yeah, that's very good. And the next verse, 17, says that's the best. So that's the Jnani. So he says, and 17 says, of these, the one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best, for I am very dear to him and he is very dear to me.
That's what you are, fourth one. Yeah.
Yeah, but not but yeah, but even Jnani is good. I mean, having the knowledge, but there's a little bit of a difference between knowledge and pure love. So, but usually if you have that full knowledge, then you will develop the love. That's the idea. That's the idea.
Who comes first, the knowledge or love? What comes first?
What's that?
What comes first, knowledge or love? Once you got a love, then you start to have a knowledge, understanding, or you got a knowledge first, then come love.
In the material world, I would say the knowledge comes first. Knowledge comes first, and then you can develop the love. then
But
you
somebody
develop.
who loves it and doesn't have any knowledge whatsoever, he loves
No,
and
but I
loves
mean,
it.
from ignorance you can't come to love. From ignorance you can't come to love. From
Yeah.
passion you can't come to love. But you got to get some knowledge, and then you can come to love. However, in the spiritual world, they have the pure love for Krishna, but without the knowledge.
Where do you get that love from?
Like the gopis and the gopas, they don't even know that Krishna's God. They don't even have that knowledge. They don't even have the knowledge that Krishna's God. They think he's my best friend, he's my lover.
Where their love come from?
No, love is always there. That's eternally present in the soul. It's said Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema. Sadhya Kabunoi, that the love for Krishna doesn't come from an external source. It's always present in the soul, love for Krishna. That's what we were made. See, we've expanded from Krishna. We're part and parcel of Krishna. It's natural for us to love Krishna. So in the spiritual world, every soul naturally, automatically, constitutionally loves Krishna. And it's not because of any knowledge. It's just that's their nature to serve Krishna and enjoy serving Krishna. They love serving Krishna. Even without any knowledge that Krishna's God. Oh, I got to serve Krishna because he's God. It's not because of anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I said causeless devotional service. There's no cause. It's like, why are you doing your devotional service? Because Krishna's God. No, not because of, not caused by anything, not caused by the knowledge that he's God. What if Krishna wasn't God? You're not going to serve him? No, but in the position of the devotees in the spiritual world, they don't care whether Krishna's God or not. They just love him. They love him, whatever he is. You know, whatever he is, they love him just because of his qualities. He's just so attractive. And that's the name Krishna means, all attractive. He's just so attractive. It's not that they love him because of his position. We love Krishna because he's God. He's the most, greatest person. No, they
because
just
we
love
come from
him.
Krishna. It's a connection is already there. We come from Krishna.
Yeah, the connection's already there. So
yeah, it's a little
it's
baby
not
love their mother, not because mother is feeding them, but because he come from a mother. It's just automatically loves his mother, regardless if mother feeds him, not feeds him.
Yeah. And your love for your mother is not going to go up or down depending on her position. If she's a prime minister or a head of a sports team or a CEO of a corporation, or who cares? You just love your mum. So it's like that. They just love Krishna for who he is. He's just the most wonderful person. Like there's a chapter in the Krishna book, and the chapter is called Wonderful Krishna. So for them, they just see Krishna so wonderful. It's not. There's no chapter saying, in the Krishna book, we realized Krishna's God and we loved him more or anything. No, they don't care whether he's God or not. They just love him for his qualities. But in the material world's different situation. We've fallen into ignorance. We've forgotten our relationship with Krishna, and we need to revive that. So yeah, for us, we need the knowledge that Krishna's God and everything like that. So for us, it's a different situation. But in the spiritual world, even Krishna has one of his devotees is making sure that you don't get this knowledge that Krishna's God. That's Yogamaya. So Yogamaya's service is to make sure that you don't think too much that he's God, because that's going to spoil your love. That's actually going to weaken your love like that and make you make it a more formal relationship, more awe and reverence. Well, I better be careful what I do, otherwise, God might punish me or something. Or there's no thought like that. It's to bring in fear, to bring in awe or reverence like that. We sing that every year during the Kartik month in the Damodar Mas, in that beautiful bhajan, Damodarastaka, that this awe and reverence, which is brought about by a lot of knowledge about God, is actually weakens the bhakti. It actually weakens the bhakti. You can read that in that song. Talks about it there.
Simha, come here.
So yeah, those are four kinds of
Sorry.
that's right. Yeah, 4 kinds of pious souls, and they approach God, so that's good. But they're not on the same level as the Mahatma, who's fully devoted to Krishna without any material motive.
So we
But
call
definitely,
Jayananda Maharaj Mahatma?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. If you go by that characteristics mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, was always chanting and always endeavoring with great determination and bowing down before me. Yeah, so, and, you know, eternally worshipping me in that way, Nitya Yukto Pasate. So, yeah, he's always engaged in doing those things. Yeah, so that would make him on that level of a Mahatma for sure. But even amongst many Mahatmas, Prabhupada's still on another level.
Of course, of course.
He's called the what do you call the, what's that word? Summum bonum, I think is the English, like old.
That's in the Bhagavad also, no?
Summum bonum means the very topmost.
Topmost.
He's an old English.
Like the summum bonum is like a total, like
Yeah.
a complete total.
Yeah. So Prabhupada's the complete total of all Mahatmas. All rolled into one.
What's the lady, if the lady will be engaged, everything like that, what should be called that? Mahatma is like they also call Mahatma, like a lady?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Okay.
Because it's to do with the soul, not the body. Because it's to do with the soul, not the body. So
Mahatmani.
no.
Okay.
It's to
Okay,
do
I
with,
don't know.
although there is one of Lord Chaitanya's associates, you know, like we have the word Goswami, right? Goswami.
Yeah.
Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, like that. So this in a devotee in a female body, she was called Goswamini. Goswamini. Not Goswami, Goswamini.
Yeah.
Well, that's just a technical thing.
That's the Yamuna Devi Dasi.
But yeah, no, that her name was it Ganga? No, not Ganga.
Ganga Swami Goswami. No,
Ganga Mata. Yeah, Ganga Mata. Her name was Ganga Mata Goswamini. Like that. So she was an associate of Lord Chaitanya, a follower from Lord Chaitanya. But these are just technical differences. It doesn't really matter. It's not that the woman is any less than the man. The main thing, do they have that criteria that they have complete love for the Lord and everything like that? Actually, in our disciplic session, our line, the best devotees were the gopis, all women. They're the best. Don't have anyone that comes close.
We have to call
There's no one in our line that comes close to the gopis, and they're all women.
Oh yeah.
Our best devotees.
Yes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, God himself,
yeah,
he said the gopis are the best devotees.
Gopi Bhava, yeah.
Yeah, and this Lord Chaitanya came to taste that. Krishna came in that form of Lord Chaitanya to taste that. Gopi Bhav is so high.
They didn't chanting. They didn't read the Bhagavatam. They just ecstasy, the love for Krishna.
Yeah, so much.
It. They are
when it was told when it was told that Krishna told one of his servants that I've got a headache. You go to all my devotees and tell them that the only thing that is going to fix my headache is the dust from your feet. Yeah. And he went to the devotees in Dwarka. They said, forget it. I'm not going to give it to you because I'll go to hell. The devotees in Mathura, they said, forget it. I'm not going to give it to you. I'll go to hell. And the devotees in Vrindavan, the gopis, said, how much do you want? And then the devotees said, don't you realize you may go to hell for putting your foot dust on Krishna's head? And I said, we don't care as long as it fixes his headache. That's the only thing that matters.
We have to go even hell. Yeah. That is
so they're the highest level. They don't have any personal consideration. Even they have to suffer, I don't care, as long as Krishna's happy. That's
Even
all
like
they care about is a
Bhaktimala, I can say so many bad things. She still care about devotees like me. You are Goswami in Bhaktimala.
Nice, nice.
Far from it, Krishna.
She always caring about devotees, always thinking, about the
So
devotees.
these are the characteristics we should see, not whether it's in a man's body or a woman's body.
Yeah.
These are not important. What's important is the personal qualifications. How much dedicated they are to please Krishna and please the devotees. How closely they follow the instructions of the spiritual master, like that. How much chanting they do and blah blah blah. How much hearing we do, like that. These are the things we should look at, not what kind of body you have. Are you wearing saffron? Are you wearing white? Or are you in a male body or a female? This doesn't matter at all. That's completely irrelevant. Okay, so yeah, as Prabhupada mentions, these 4 kinds of persons. So not on the same level as a Mahatma, but still good, because they've approached God. So they'll slowly become purified. And then he says, but there are others who are still lower. Okay, so topmost is Mahatma, then down is coming those other 4, and then below those 4, he says, he who worships himself as one with the Supreme Lord. And then second one, he who concocts some form of the Supreme Lord and worships that. And third one, he who accepts the universal form, the Vishwarupa, of the Supreme Person of Godhead and worships that. And then Prabhupada says, out of the 3, the lowest, those who worship themselves as the Supreme Lord, think themselves to be monas, are most prominent. So this first one is the worst one, Prabhupada's saying. He who worships himself as one with the Supreme Lord. Prabhupada said after that, that's the lowest one. That's the lowest one, because he thinks he is God. He thinks he is God. And like I said in the last session, that's the very reason why we're in the material world in the first place, because we want to be God. As long as we're stuck up with this stupid desire to want to be God, we're going to remain in the material world. So that's the very cause of our suffering. The root cause of our suffering is we've become so ignorant to think that we want to be God, and we want to have that position. So we become envious of God. We desire to be God, and because we desire to be God, we're envious of the real God. Does that make sense? Do you understand how that desire to be God automatically comes side by side with an envy or hatred of God? I'll give you an example. If you had a desire to be the manager of the Bhakti tree, that's going to come side by side with hating bread.
Yeah, I want to be bread to be dead.
Yeah, right. So because if you want that person's position, you have to not like that person that's got the position. Because how you can have it if they're still there? So you have to get rid of them to be there. If I want to be the head of the GBC, that means I have to hate the head of the GBC, because I have to get rid of him first before I can become the head of the GBC. So having a desire.
No, but if you look at the different angle, if I want to become a manager of Bhakti tree, then I can do better. So Bhakti tree will be flourish, and then be making more money. From that point of view, because of my experience, I'm older, so it could be. I don't want to rid of bread. All I want to be Bhakti tree to be flourish more, because last year Bhakti tree was in loss. So they mentioned that, and then they did the price increase as well. And then I said the loss will be different reasons, like not only because Prashadam's great, but not only open 4 days, it's open 6 days, increase the menu. I think it's like a different things there you gotta be. But I don't I want to be not to rid of bread. I want to be Bhakti tree will be in profit. So I'm not envious of bread.
Sure.
But at the same point, you can think, how can I do better?
Sure. No, I mean, that is possible. But generally, it does come side by side. And it mentions that, like, if we look, I think it's 7th chapter, text 27. 7:27. So this is the root cause of our being in the soul's being in the material world, described here. 7:27. Bhakti Mala, do you want to read this one?
Yeah, find it.
Simha, come on, read that.
O scion of Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate.
So Krishna is speaking to Arjuna. So he's a descendant from this King Bharat. That's why he's called scion. Scion is an old term, means like a branch off a tree. So that's called scion wood, scion. So like a branch off a tree. So you remember they call it family tree, right? You call it a family tree. So the tree family is compared to a tree because it has, you know, like a tree has many branches. So if a family has so many branches,
Yeah.
you know, this man, he had 4 kids, and then those 4 kids had, you know, 2 kids each, you know, so it all branches out like that. So so Arjuna is like the scion of King Bharata. And he was also the conqueror of foe. Arjuna is very famous for defeating his defeating other enemies like that. So he's telling Arjuna all living entities are born into delusion. Delusion means, you know, illusion. Illusion means ignorance, right? And delusion is the next level, complete ignorance. You know, so in the Sanskrit, it's called sammoha.
Exactly. One is the idiot, one is completely idiot.
Yeah, completely idiot. So sammoha, sammoham. So moha means illusion, and sam means complete illusion. And Prabhupada's translated as delusion. So bewildered by dualities arisen from desire and hate. So this is, and Prabhupada mentions in the purport that due to desire and hate, the ignorant person wants to become one with the Supreme Lord and envies Krishna as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the desire, that we want to become one with the Supreme Lord, means we want to become God. And then side by side that wanting to become one with the Supreme Lord, we envy Krishna as a Supreme Person of Godhead.
All right, I need to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you very much.
That's right. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Next week, because there's one guy today, the customer, he came and he asked the butter paneer and the roti, just a Westerner, and then sit down and eat that. On the way out, he said, Hare Krishna. Boy, I just like, first time I seen him, I feel like to give him a halwa. You know, he said, Hare Krishna. My eyes are, oh, okay. He knows something. Done with Pranam. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please come again. It's okay. Okay. First time, you don't know where she come from, but you know, Krishna can come in any form into Bhakti tree and see if the Ghosh is serving right or not. More you going to that, it'll be more your exams. And then you see how you're going to be appearing in the exam. If one wrong move, fail. That's when I treat everyone. Even demon, I don't classify as a demon. It's not my job. That's Krishna's job. Who's demon, who's devotee? Even demon comes there. He's the devotee. Please come. Eat prasadam.
Yes.
Eating, chanting, dancing. We're going to do 11th February. Eating, chanting, dancing. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Hey, Simha's there.
Oh yeah, I've got a blue tongue lizard.
Yeah.
In the yard, so he just goes mental with barking at it. Yeah, he does. I don't know. He just doesn't like it. So.
Yeah,
but I'll hold on to him.
Yeah. That's automatic for a dog.
Yeah,
anything
no, he
that
doesn't
moves,
like
they're gonna get excited.
Lizards and things like that.
Yeah. But just the same.
What book are you doing on a Saturday with Narendra?
Now we're doing a very ecstatic book, Chaitanya Charitamrita. We started off Sri Ishopanishad, so we finished that ages ago. and now we moved on to the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and not from the beginning, but we're just focusing on the 5 main topics that Prabhupada identified in the Chaitanya Charitamrita are 5 conversations. So one is Lord Chaitanya talking with Rupa Goswami.
Okay.
Another one is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talking with Sanatana Goswami. Another one, he's talking with Ramananda Roy. Another one, Prakashananda Saraswati. And then there's one more which I can't remember right now. So we started off with the talk with Rupa Goswami. Lord Chaitanya talked with Rupa Goswami.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're partway through that. But yeah, if you're ever free on a Saturday, and that starts 5 o'clock your time.
Okay.
Your time, 5 o'clock on a Saturday.
Okay.
It's on the Solstice.
What book is it out of the
Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's the Madhya Lila. Have you got that? If not,
no, I don't. But I know Mahabhadra has it, so I'm sure he'd lend me the book.
Yeah, it's chapter 19 from memory. It's chapter 19. So you just, if you could borrow that book which has chapter 19 in it, it'll have a few chapters in it. It'll have a few chapters. Otherwise, you can just look at it on your device. You'll be able to get it off the internet.
Yeah.
Off the internet. But if you don't want to just look at a device, which I prefer to look at a book. But But if all else fails, if you can't get the book, just look at on a device.
Has he read the Srimad Bhagavatam already, or
he's partway through. He's more than halfway through.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what canto he's on right now, but I think he's more than halfway through. I think he's like 7 or 8 canto or something.
Because you're supposed to read that first, aren't you, before you read?
No, and I mean it is said. Bhagavad Gita, then Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. But actually it's not always necessary to do in every situation. And I mean, for example, Prabhupada, when he wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita, they were mass produced, those individual volumes, and they were being distributed on the street. So that means some Tom, Dick, and Harry that doesn't know anything is handed the Chaitanya Charitamrita Anchalila, which is talking about Krishna and the gopis and stuff like that, just getting that without having read anything else. So Prabhupada knew that whatever book you get, it's going to be purifying. It doesn't matter what book it is, but anything connected with Krishna is going to purify that person. So, however, so you might be hearing from Chaitanya Charitamrita, but in your own personal life, you can be going through that study systematically.
Yeah.
So you can read Bhagavad Gita, and then you read Bhagavatam, and then you read Chaitanya Charitamrita. So that systematically you do yourself. But once a week or whatever, when someone's talking, if you hear from any book, it's going to be good for you. And what it'll do also is give you a taste for that book, and you might make you have a stronger desire to want to read it. Or say now I don't know what it is. I don't really not interested to read it. But if you hear from it, wow, this is amazing. I want to read this. So it'll give you a taste of it, and then hopefully you will, someday want to read it,
Well, I'm doing that class on a Tuesday, when we're reading Bhagavatam. Get together. So that's given me a bit, because it's on my own. I was just sort of like,